Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. With the Dokkanfest pan being revealed of her details and animations yesterday, and of course she's dropping tomorrow, I'm going to be going through everything that is coming with her campaign and celebration. I do believe it's going to be a 2-week thing, just considering the time frame and where she's been put in and everything. But I mean, at least for a lot of us, that does mean we're going to get a breather with our stones. But do let me know down in the comments. Are you going to be summoning for Pan? Are you going to start saving? Did you wish it was someone else? I can imagine off the back of Worldwide and the Annie on Global, a lot of us are finally getting a breather and trying to save some of our stones. But do let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe as well. All the support is very much appreciated. But let's go through it. So we have the standard login bonus. We also have the standard missions. And then we have her banner itself. Of course, I've already gone through the details for both the Dokkanfest pan and side banner Trunks and Giru. So the rest of the banner is looking like this. This was the first time Dokkanfest Ginyu returned on JP. There's the transforming Trunks, SSJ4 Gogeta, and the GT Super Saiyans. However, I will say this. Ginyu was the penultimate Dokkanfest, I'm pretty sure, before the 7th anniversary on Global. So that's what, about 3, maybe even 4 months away at a push. So unfortunately, it's probably far too early for Ginyu to come back on Global. In a couple more months, sure. You know, we could see him on the, RF Boys banner, the Blues, or maybe squeezed onto Tanabata, maybe. All I know is, right now, as I said, it's a little bit too early for him to come back. So I would take a pinch of salt going into the banner tomorrow. If you are going to summon, or if you're expecting Ginyu to come back and you pick him up with coins, don't get me wrong, I want to get this guy with coins as well. We still one of the best T-Bars in the whole game, if not the best, which is, debatable between a lot of us. But I highly doubt he's going to be back. It's literally only been 3-4 months. So he's probably going to be replaced by someone else, maybe Super Vegeta, could be Dokkanfest Margin Vegeta, unless he gets the Broly treatment, which means we're not going to see him until next year. Like, Broly was gone for a whole year. Hopefully they don't do that again. So Margin Vegeta could be on here instead, which is not a bad pickup considering in a couple months' time in December, Trunks and Vegeta give Dokkanfest Margin Vegeta a whole new pick-me-off, a whole new piece of life, or lease of life, should I say. So he may be on this banner, but as I said, they could still put Ginyu on the banner, but as I said, it's really, really unlikely they'll do that, just because it wasn't long ago since he was actually dropped on Global. But hopefully he is, so we can pick up the coins. The rest of the banner is kind of okay. I mean, Gogeta has his uses here and there as an alternative. Trunks is okay. The GT Super Saiyans are okay at this point. The main selling point was obviously Pan and Ginyu, but as I said, Ginyu might not even be on the banner. So, as I said, for a lot of us, this is probably going to be a breather for our stones, help us start saving. Probably an easy skip. I'm not going to lie. It's probably an easy skip. Of course, we have a Dokkan event. There's going to be stone sales, the mysterious ritual summon. Then we have the new EZAs have come in. Of course, we've already got the Giru EZA, which I'm pretty sure... Actually, did that drop during year 4? I think maybe the year 4 anniversary. I can't actually remember. All I know is I'm pretty sure it came out with that Spirit Bomb Goku. But we are getting EZAs for both the Meta Rildo and also the GT Super Saiyan Goku. So I'm going to kind of ignore the leader skills because you're not really going to be using them for this. So on the Goku, on super attack, you greatly raise attack for 1 turn and cause supreme damage to the enemy. On the passive, you get attack and defense plus 59% at the start of turn, plus an additional attack and defense plus 14% per key sphere obtained, then an additional attack and defense plus 59% with 3 or more key spheres obtained, then a high chance of performing a critical hit with 5 or more key spheres obtained, and then an additional attack and defense plus 59% when performing a super attack for 7 turns from the start of turn. So in terms of damage output, this Goku can do some probably out of that, some reasonable numbers. Defense is okay, of course, is highly dependent on you getting a decent amount of key spheres and also, getting those kind of key marks, the 3 or more key spheres, the 5 or more key spheres, especially if you do hit a crit. So damage-wise, this Goku should be pretty good. Defensively, okay. Of course, you got that greatly raised attack on super attack as well. So yeah, his damage output will be probably quite decent. Again, especially if you do manage to get a decent amount of orbs with him, which he is also an orb changer as well. He'll randomly change 1 key sphere as of certain type to a rainbow key sphere when there is a GT boss category enemy. So I mean, if you still need to do some red zone stages, or maybe you want to try him out against the Mega, he's going to work really well in the GT bosses, or at least the GT edition of Red Zone. Any GT edition or GT enemies within Super Battle Road. Other than that, that's very specific, but he's not a bad EZA. I wouldn't say he's anything special though. And then we have the Rildo. Once again, we're going to not ignore the leader skill. It's just neither here nor there. On super attack, he does raise attack and defense by 30% for one turn, causes supreme damage to the enemy and lowers attack. On his passive, he gets attack and defense plus 80% at the start of turn. Then an additional attack and defense plus 20% up to 80% per GT bosses category allowing the team. Now this is actually quite good. However, and I've said this numerous of times, it's still pending we get a new GT bosses lead, hopefully sometime soon, or even a 200% lead. But GT bosses right now is not in a good space. You know, we only have a 150 lead, we don't even have a 170 lead, let alone a 200% right now. Not to mention the team doesn't really have much synergy. You know, if you're missing LR Super 17, you only have, what, a 120, 130 lead with the Shadow Dragons. So again, you don't have a lead, you don't have a full 170. As I said, there's not much synergy. You know, if you're missing a few options, it's really difficult to actually build somewhat of a, you know, a cohesive team and a team that actually does well. There's some good units there, don't get me wrong, some solid EZAs, but I said in terms of an actual synergistic team, we don't really have any yet. Or we don't really have one yet, let alone even just a 170 lead to actually run the team, you know, somewhat well. So, you know, in the future, we do need like a Dokkanfest transform in Sin. I mean, I've wanted that for years, so hopefully that ends up happening. You know, transform in Baby could be on the cards. A fusing, you know, Hellfighter and Trenchcoat 17 into Soup 17 could be a possibility. The GT bosses category needs some work, so unfortunately, you're probably not going to use this guy. I mean, if you have a GT bosses category mission to be like you need to do, obviously while running him on the GT bosses team, he's going to work really well. But until the team itself gets a bit of a pick-me-up, yeah, this is a unit you're not really going to be you're not going to be running because you're not going to be running the GT bosses category and fully taking advantage of it for the time being. But he does also get an additional attack and defense plus 80% performing a super attack, which is of course multiplicative, which means his attack stats going to jump up a bit. He's going to be able to do some good damage, especially if you have dupes. Not to mention his defense as well. He also raises attack and defense on super by 30%. So he's going to be putting out some very decent numbers, both offensively and defensively. And again, especially if you're on a GT bosses category, but we do need a 170 lead first. He also gets an additional key plus 2 and attack plus 40% when facing only one enemy. So if you are facing one enemy, as I said, defensively he's looking solid, and offensively, he's actually going to be putting out some very good numbers, especially if you do have some dupes in. You know, you get an additional raise your attack and defense by 30% again. And of course, if you get any crits off, he's actually looking pretty good. But again, until GT bosses gets a 170 lead at least, get some new units to kind of help the team function, it's not really something you're going to be using all too often. And then not only that, just kind of tip him off just to make him even better, but also the kicker, because of the way GT bosses is right now, he's also a GT bosses category support, giving key plus 2 and attack plus 40%. It's not attack and defense, but it's a pretty solid support. But it's a shame the category just isn't where it needs to be right now. So unfortunately, while Rildo's EZA is pretty good, not someone you're really going to be using. Of course, we have the usual returning story events. We have the 53rd Virtual Dokkan Ultimate Clash. And then we have the EZA for the GT trio, and of course the Extreme Legendary Summon to come with it. Their EZA is really, really good. So post EZA, they're a 177 lead for Dragon Ball Seekers, and they also give Ki plus 4. Super Int types get Ki plus 4, HP and attack and defense plus 120%. On 12 Ki, they raise attack and defense by 33% for one turn, causes colossal damage to the enemy and seals. On 18 Ki, they raise their defense by 33% for 3 turns. So that means for 3 turns, you're basically going to mini stack. So defensively, they are a pretty good unit that don't have guard or damage reduction. They also cause mega colossal damage to the enemy and lowers attack and defense. And then on their passive, you get defense plus 77% at the start of turn. No attack at the start of turn though, but they do get attack and defense plus 77% performing a super attack, which is multiplicative, which combined with the fact that you can get your 18 Ki off relatively easy, and within those 3 turns you can kind of miniature stack. And then not to mention, if you have any dupes in them and you get an additional, you can then also raise your attack and defense by 33% again, but more importantly, your defense will go up by 33% as well on top of the 18 Ki. And then also again, as I said, there's 77% on super attack is multiplicative. So in terms of their defense, if you do get the additional, you do hit the 18 Ki and get the additional 12 Ki, their defense is in a pretty good spot. And of course, if you get any more additionals within those 3 turns, as I said, they mini stack for 3 turns with 33% defense each time. So yeah, defensively without guard and damage reduction, they are really good. They also get an additional attack plus 77% if it's an ultra super attack as well. They get Ki plus 1, plus an additional attack plus 7% per Dragon Ball Seekers or GT Heroes category ally on the team, which is very easy to get active, considering if you're going to take dual GT trio leads, you're taking a Dragon Ball Seekers category team, so they're all going to be Dragon Ball Seekers category allies. Not to mention, if you do end up pulling for Pan and you have the GT trio and you run the GT trio on Pan's 200% lead, the majority of them will be Dragon Ball Seeker categorized as well. So it's very easy to get that extra attack plus 7%. It's not much, but of course it does add up. It does give you a bit more offense. And then you get an additional key plus 3 and a high chance of performing a crit when all allies attacking in the same turn, or Dragon Ball Seekers or GT Heroes characters, which once again, the majority of the Dragon Ball Seeker characters you're going to be running with these guys are going to be GT Heroes as well. But you only need one or the other. And again, when you're going to be running them on Pan's team, if you do pull for Pan and get her, she leads units that belong on both those categories within her 200% lead. So getting an extra key plus 3 and the built-in 50% chance to crit is pretty much going to be a guarantee almost, which obviously helps them deal a whole lot more damage while being very defensively solid. So this is a very, very good Easy A, and one that I definitely advise you do. And then we have a new Prime Battle coming, which is LRTN. Goodbye, Mr. Tien. He is a 130 lead for Saiyan Saga, and also gives key plus 3 on super attack on the 12 key, causes colossal damage to the enemy and lowers attack. On 18 key, greatly raises attack for 1 turn and causes mega colossal damage to the enemy while sacrificing 5% HP. And then we have this pretty lengthy passive, this kind of essay for a passive. So he gets key plus 3 for 10 turns from the start of turn, which is very helpful considering he's an LR and you want to be getting that 18 key off as consistently as possible. He also gets an additional key plus 3 for 10 turns from the start of turn when there's an extreme class enemy, which, if you are facing an extreme class enemy, again, also helps the fact he's an LR. You want to be constantly getting the 18 key off, so you're pretty much, when you're facing an extreme class enemy for 10 turns, you're going to be getting key plus 13. Altogether. Sorry, not key plus 13. I wish key plus 13. You're going to be getting key plus 6, which is still a lot, again, for an LR that's going to be making him get off his 18 key pretty easily. Could you imagine if it was key plus 10 and key plus 13 in total? That'd be kind of mad. Yeah, he also gets attack and defense plus 103,000. He gets an additional attack and defense plus 10,300 with each attack performed up to 103,000. So after 10 attacks, he will have an extra 103,000 on top of the one he starts with, which is very nice. He also launches an additional super when HP is 8% or more, which is of course very easy in the content you'll be taking him in, because I highly doubt you'll be using him in Red Zone. I'm not saying he can't, but typically you won't be. I'm considering the categories he goes on and his links, but still he will get a built-in additional super, which is of course very nice in terms of building this up a whole lot quicker considering he has 10 attacks. And then we have launches an additional attack when HP is 50% or more, then a medium chance of performing a critical hit when performing an ultra super attack, or a great chance of performing a critical hit when HP is 50% or less when performing an ultra super attack, which, considering for 10 turns you're going to get an extra key plus 6, as I said, it's going to make it very easy to get his 18 key off, and that's a 70% chance when your HP is 50% or less to perform a crit, on top of the fact that this guy you will rainbow out for free. So we have additionals in his passive, crits in his passive, and extra additionals and crits in his dupe system as well. So you could easily get an 18 key, greatly raise your attack for 1 turn, you could hit a crit from his passive if your HP is 50% or less with that 70% chance. You could then hit an additional from his passive, which then means, actually, can you? No, because you need 50% or more HP. Actually, no, actually, you just fall within the confines. You have HP at 50% or more, or 50% or less. So yeah, you could then hit the additional from your passive, then crit again, and then get an additional from the dupe system, and then potentially crit again as well. But ideally, this guy could be doing some pretty decent damage because of all the additionals and crits you're getting. And then to finish it off, you get an additional key plus 10 when HP is 30% or less. So if this guy's almost dead, you're pretty much guaranteed to get his 18 key off without any worries. And again, potentially getting those additionals off in the dupe system, the passive and the crits, etc. It's pretty good. He also has an active skill. Goodbye, Mr. Tien! Because ultimate damage to the enemy and key plus 10 and defense plus 30% for 1 turn. Again, even more key. The active skill conditions are pretty good as well. Can be activated when HP is 50% or less, starting from the 4th turn from the start of battle once only. His link set is Z Fighters, Crane School, Solid Support, Telepathy, or Telepathy. I don't know why that word always sounds weird to me. I don't know why. I think it's just because the way some people say it, everyone says it kind of differently. Telepathy, you know, either or, it doesn't matter. Shocking Speed, Shatting the Limit, and Legendary Power. They're not bad links. I mean, ideally, you're probably not going to be getting, or realistically, should I say, you're not going to be getting this active or Crane School. And he also goes on Worthy Rivals, Final Trump Card, Earthlings, Bond of Friendship, and Saiyan Saga as well. Those are his categories. We're going to be getting new ESBR stages. I'm pretty sure one of the new stages is the Vegeta family stage. So, you know, Margin Vegetas, you know, Super Vegetas. There's a lot of good Vegeta units you could be taking into here. We have the Explosive Chain Battle versus Oceanus. And then we have the renewal of Super Strike Event new stages added, which was, and originally on JP was Grandpa Gohan. However, it's already been shown in the news that we are getting the Kid Vegeta EZA or Strike Renewal EZA on Global. And here's his details. So after EZAing, again, leader skills neither here nor there. On Super Attack, he will raise attack for 1 turn and cause supreme damage with a high chance of stunning, which is quite nice. In the event, you can actually stun. He gets attack and defense plus 100% when performing a Super Attack, and an additional attack and defense plus 20% with each attack performed up to 100%. So basically, once this is fully built up, he will basically have 100% attack and defense at the start of turn and 100% when performing a Super Attack, which again is multiplicative. So you want this guy in slot 2 or slot 3. And he probably, for a free-to-play EZA, will put out some very solid numbers, considering he has this on Super. He also gets an additional attack plus 20% with each Super Attack performed, up to 100% as well. So yeah, this one is each attack, so that could be basics, additionals, things like that. And this one is with Super Attack. So 5 Super Attacks, and he'll get an extra 100% attack as well. So damage output for a free-to-play unit, once he's fully built up and got going, he's going to be putting out some very impressive numbers for a free-to-play unit. He also gets an additional defense plus 50% when there is another youth category ally attacking in the same turn. He also gets an additional defense plus 50% when there is another gifted warriors category ally attacking in the same turn. I mean, considering he's a Vegeta unit, the majority of them are Vegeta units, and I'm pretty sure Kid Trunks is as well. He also launches an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a Super Attack with 3 or more keys phase obtained, which of course also helps him build up his passive where you need to be performing attacks, and also extra Super Attacks as well that can help you build that up quicker. And of course, when he's fully built up, you can raise your attack by 30% for 1 turn, you get the additional off, you raise his attack again by 30%, so that's 60% in total. You're doing some very, very good damage. So yeah, it's a pretty decent Strike Renewal EZA, if I do say so myself. And then we're also going to be getting the EZA, I saw this in the news as well, we're getting the EZA for the ESBR Goku and Gohan that you get from completing ESBR missions. They now go to a 130 Goku's family lead with key plus 4. On 12 key, they raise defense for 1 turn, cause colossal damage to the enemy and seal Super Attack. On 18 key, they raise defense, which is stacking, by the way. We love stacking defense, we all love it. Causes mega colossal damage to the enemy and lowers attack. They also get key plus 2 and defense plus 59%, plus an additional defense plus 20% at the start of each turn, up to 59%. Also attack plus 59% performing a Super Attack, and an additional attack plus 58% if it is an Ultra Super Attack, which, considering, you know, it's actually relatively easy to link them. Like, their link set is actually pretty good. This shouldn't be too difficult. They also get an additional attack plus 20% with each Super Attack performed, up to 58%, so it's pretty much three Super Attacks, and that's done. Then an additional key plus 5, which is of course going to help you get your 18 key off as well. So again, getting this portion of their passive should be relatively easy. They also recover 8% HP at the end of the turn, and a great chance of launching an additional Super Attack as the 3rd attacker in a turn. So realistically, you wouldn't run them on rotation anyway, you'd probably run them as a floater, and this kind of plays into that, because if you're the 3rd attacker in a turn, you have a 70% chance of launching an additional super, which is very nice. And then, yeah, it's a solid EZA. Again, for a free-to-play unit, it's a very solid EZA, if I do say so myself. And then we have some extra few things, but I'm not sure if they're actually going to be in the celebration on Global, considering it is looking to be a 2-week celebration. Considering it isn't that long, I doubt we're going to get the Rising Dragon Carnival with Chilai and Fasha. This is kind of filler content anyway, so it might still be there, but as in terms of time restraints, probably won't be there, but it can just be chucked in for filler content at any point. But these 2 units are pretty good. Excuse me, I will say so myself. Then we have EZAs for some Peppy Girls units. And again, because of it looking like to be a 2-week celebration, we might not even get these in this celebration either. And then then at least JP had the EZA for the full power SSJ for Goku, which of course we got during the 7th anniversary. So we've already had that. It may, you know, so in terms of content and it being a 2-week celebration, there may be some stuff that's cut. And of course, the full power SSJ for Goku EZA, we already have. So that's everything coming in Pan's celebration. Do let me know what you think down in the comments. Once again, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. And peace.